so our bodies are like an impossibility, like the millions of things that have to happen at all times for your entire lifetime for you to exist, for you to function, for you to have balance, all the bacteria and enzymes and all these other entities that live within you that you can't live without it, that we can see, like everything's, and it doesn't make sense. Like when I think
Right.
about just being alive, I'm dumbfounded that I exist essentially. But isn't it amazing that the body rewards you for your fitness choices and your nutrition choices by giving you dopamine, by giving you serotonin, by rewarding you with the feel good chemicals
Yep.
for your sacrifice that allows it to survive and propagate and all those things. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on the natural kind of system that's in place?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And I always say, if you don't believe in God, who do you think created this amazing, body that we have? And like you said, the capabilities that come along with that. And when you fuel it with the right things, when you put in the right things, not just in your mouth, but in your mind, it's so powerful. And like you said, with the serotonin and the dopamine and the, those spikes and those hits that you get from your workouts or from your runs or from, putting on, a Les Brown or a Tony Robbins or whoever you're listening to, reprogram the way that you think is powerful, man. And then that's where I got with like keto and all these other things, like really breaking it down to like the cellular level of like wow, like I'm rebuilding, damage that I did all through college. The partying and the, too much, late late nights and not getting enough sleep and just having too much fun. Um, and then going back and repairing all of that through proper nutrition and diet and the mental fuel that we put into our brains daily, and watching it firsthand happen to clients, that make that change, that are really, they come in, say, I'd have in my brain this one gentleman who came in, he was almost 400 pounds, and he actually regained my like just belief in anybody anybody that makes that decision and sticks to that decision to change can do anything. He went from almost 400 pounds in a year and a half down to about 230 pounds. And back to what you said about losing the body fat but gaining the muscle weight, he also put on probably 40 pounds of muscle. So if you look at that, he was really down to about 190, 180 pounds if he didn't do any weight training of body fat. So he literally lost a full person, a 220-pound person, and gained that. And not just the weight, his energy, his just who he was, the aliveness, the spirit that shifted from like this defeated, like just broken person to this one who's like this energy levels is rising and rising and rising, and to like, it's a completely different man. And he's still that way probably 6 years now. So it's amazing what the human body can do, if you fuel it and do the right things. And back to God, like, to me, I'm a man of faith, I'm a man of prayer, I'm a man of just really understanding that there's no way that all of this could be happening without a higher power. That's my belief. I mean, that's then I took it to a whole spiritual level. Then I realized it's not just, there's not just one way, but then there's so many other different spiritualities and different ways to get get that same feeling, that you need to get up every day and get going.
So you mentioned one of the ways that people feel good after a workout, also after running, there's like the runner's high.
Yeah,
What is happening there? Is that it's releases extra dopamine, like the feel good, not
yeah.
drug, the feel good
Hormone,
chemical
chemical.
hormone?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it from evolution that back in the day, if you're running away from something that's going to kill you, so the body kicks in things to keep you going? Like, what's going on there with the runner's high? And it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's just the natural chemicals we have in our body that to be able to tap into those, and for those to, it's a natural drug. I mean, it's instead of taking synthetic drugs, that's how you can get these natural uh hormones to release within your body through working out, through, again, even just not even just working out, but through the the proper um, the proper motivation or mindset, or personal development. It's feeding, that is really feeding and tapping into those parts of your body and your chemicals to be released to you know to feel good. So
Is one
it's
of the
deep. I mean, the science of all of that is real deep, so I just want to keep it very simple, but it's just knowing.
keep it simple for the layman people,
Well,
for us
that's what
here.
I mean, that's one of my, I think one of my fortes too. I have clients like, you have ability to break it down to keep it really simple. And we learned, long ago, confused people do nothing. So then they try to analyze and try to figure everything out. Like, no, go for a walk. You're gonna feel better. Do 10 push-ups. You will feel better. You know, Again, it's not overthinking it. Keep it simple. Keep the body moving, drink water, breathe, do some breathing exercises, um, sit quiet, meditate for, could be a minute, could be 10 minutes, however long a day. Be around the right people, get rid of, negativity in your life, turn off the news. These are all things we have within us right now. Like, we don't have to go get a membership to the gym. You don't have to hire a personal trainer. You don't have to work out 2 hours a day. You know, eat real foods. Food that isn't packaged or processed or frozen. Uh, as much as that as you can. Do as much movement as you can. Drink as much water as you can. Do breathing. Little exercises as often as you can. People, I think, again, they try to confuse everything and make things way more difficult than they really are. Keep it simple.
I read in the book, The Primal Blueprint, that every time you go to eat, you should pretend that you're one of your ancestors. So you picture your great 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 grandma. Would she be able to grab whatever you're about to eat? So there's a
Right.
box of Kraft dinner, and you go, could great 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 grandma in the wild, hunter gatherer, grab a box of Kraft dinner somewhere? No. Okay, I got to put
No.
that back. Could she order McDonald's? No. Okay, got to put that back.
Right.
Could she make a salad with these things? Yes. There you
Right.
go. Like that's the
Right.
mindset you should have. I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It is really cool. Another quick tip is, when you go into a grocery store, they always say, stay on the perimeter. If you think about in your mind what's on the perimeter of all grocery stores, it's all the real foods. It's the vegetables, it's the meats, it's the dairy, it's all the way around. You get in the middle, everything's boxed up on the shelf, preservatives, additives. Frozen section is usually in
Mm.
the middle. And I was like, you know what? That is so true. So do most of your shopping on the outside, on the inside, just pay attention.
I've heard that is a marketing trick because if everybody has to get, let's say, bananas, chicken, eggs, whatever, that by doing the perimeter of the building, everyone has to make it all the way through the store, which leads to the temptation of, okay, there's the Snickers, there's the ice cream. If they
Mm-hmm.
put all the necessities in, you know, 2% of the thing in the corner
Right.
there, people
Right.
would grab that and go, and that's not what they
Yeah.
want. So that's a
Yeah.
marketing tip as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that's on those end caps, of every aisle, set back to the marketing, it's always what? Chips, it's sodas, it's candies, it's, you know, it's all of this stuff. While you're walking around, you're going to grab that, then head down that aisle.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the big companies pay a premium. They're actually
Yes.
paying for the shelf space. So whatever is eye level, they're paying extra. That's where like the big cereal companies are right
Yeah.
there. And then if you have to make an effort and get down on your knees to get something at the bottom or way at the top, those are kind of the no name brands, the less you know, the companies that have less clout and less money.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's kind of cool to see all that marketing stuff. For me, you know,
Yeah.
loving the business side of things and
Yeah.
how the mind works and how to promote. So I've dug deep into those things. Do you think one of the biggest misconceptions in fitness is that people think cardio when they want to lose weight, when in actuality you actually burn more calories with a regular weightlifting workout? Is that's true, right?
Yes.
Generally, like if
Yeah.
you jog for an hour, it's, let's say you burn 300 calories, and if you do a fitness workout, it's more than that, at least from what I've
Oh
been
yeah. I
tracking.
mean, you could, with a proper fitness routine, I mean, you could burn the amount of calories you do in an hour run in 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Um, but what I tell people, and Byron being one of them, you know, you got to look at your cardio for your heart. Your cardio is for your heart.
Okay.
Don't look at it for weight loss. Don't look at it for anything other than, you know, heart healthy. You're trying to, you know, burn those calories and pump that heart, get as much blood pumping through that heart as possible. What's that going to do? It's going to keep your heart strong. It's going to keep your, you know, all of your arteries and capillaries and blood vessels, everything pumping through, you know, all this great oxygenated blood. And then you're not going to get this plaque buildup. You're not going to get the, you know, the heart disease. And not saying that it won't happen, it'll happen way less. But most people do. They look at cardio as my weight loss program. This is back to the, oh, I had a bad meal last night, I'm going to go in the gym today and do all this extra cardio. That doesn't work out in the long run.
Hmm. You mentioned that you've been doing this for 22 years. You've had a 22-year career in fitness, which means that you've been interested in fitness longer than that. It's like you've been a professional for 22 years. So
Yeah.
what is your earliest memory of fitness and nutrition where it was a thing that you were consciously aware of? And, you know, how
Yeah.
early did you know that this is something you'd want to invest your life in as a career?
You know what? I had no idea um, that this would be my career, what I'd be doing. I went to college, Buffalo State College in 1992 to play football. Um, and that was it. Like school was never my thing. Sports was always my love. So I knew I had to do well in school to play sports. That was my only like true connection to school as far as the academic side of it. Um, Growing up, I played football, basketball, baseball um, throughout like high school, and you know I was a captain of my football, basketball, and baseball team. So I excelled at a very high level, and it wasn't because of nutrition and because of, I mean, we as a family we ate what was on the table, you know, and it went looking back, you know, my mom laughed. She's like, the way we ate, you know, she's like, you would think that we would have all been like 500 pounds, and you know, but so I went to college, played football, and it was probably my third year. I think it was my third year of college, and I'd already gone through two majors. I first wanted to get into, I thought, into law enforcement. Found out, took one class in that, realized that wasn't for me. Then I went into early childhood development teaching for one semester, realized that wasn't for me. Then I just took all my general classes and courses, And I was pretty much done with all of those. And one of my teachers said, you know, what's your major? I'm like, funny you ask, I need to find one. He's like, well, you seem to really like my class. And was something in the health field. I'm like, yeah, I love it. And he's like, and you like so-and-so, another teacher, her class, right? And I'm like, yeah, I love that class. He's like, well, we have a new major called health and wellness. Um, he's like, you should really look into, you know, getting a degree in that. He's like, you'd actually be the second class to ever graduate with a health and wellness degree from Buffalo State College. I'm like, sounds great, let's do it. So I ended up graduating with a degree in health and wellness way before that was even a word. I mean, or a term, you know, it was just, and there was really like, here's your list of potential jobs. It was pretty much blank. I mean, there was like, you could be a health coordinator for a big corporation, or, you know, personal training back then really wasn't too much of a thing, at least in Buffalo. When I moved out or came out to California and visited, it was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with a health and wellness degree, but this seems like the epitome of health and wellness. I mean, people are moving and outside and
Outside gyms, which Canada
outside
cannot exist.
Yeah. But even on the Strand, like going up and down the beach, you'd see people rollerblading, roller skating, skateboarding, riding contraptions you've never seen, running, walking, pushing a stroller, you know, like fast, jogging with a stroller. I'm like, this seems like the place. And then, so that's that portion of it. The fitness side of it, playing football in college, like, you know, we worked out in high school a little bit, but that was never like the big emphasis of it. It was like, you know, you have to work out, but, you know, we weren't really given the reasons, the total reasons why, or whatever it was. When I got to college, you realize real quick why you had to work out, because there was some big, massive humans that were, again, playing quarterback. They were trying to hurt you. They were playing defense, and
they weren't very friendly, were they?
They were not friendly. They wanted to, you know, and it looked like they could hurt you. So the workouts were very intense for football. And then I started to see the change of like, wow, like, you know, what it can do to your body, physical body, in a short period of time, working hard and with a plan. So it was probably then and there where like this whole fitness aspect was like, this is really cool, because now I can do things with my body I could never do. I can jump higher, I can run faster, I can push more weight, I can squat more weight. I get hit, it doesn't hurt, or I'm not feeling it like I did before in a bad way. And then after I graduated and I moved out here, someone asked me about personal training, or told me, I was like, yeah, you know, and I'm just thinking, I was already personal training back in college, you know, meaning helping people work out and putting workouts together for friends or whoever. Didn't know that was something you could get paid for, right? So I came out here, I interviewed for a couple jobs, and like dating myself, Xerox was one of the companies, and
big company,
and they had a huge like gym fitness component for their facility, so they needed like a health director or something. So I interviewed for that. Glad I didn't get it. It was like one of those very like just corporate jobs, and I'm like, I didn't get it. I'm like, you know what, I do want to get into training. So got my certification in personal training, and just knew that, you know, for whatever reason, I knew that's what it was, what I was going to do for, you know, the longevity. Then once I dove into personal training and helping, you know, you help one person and you see them shift and change their life, it just was like, wow. And then probably the earliest moment of what I had to offer was a lady was telling me how she made it up her flight of stairs with her laundry without losing her breath. I'm like, you went up one flight of stairs with the laundry basket and you usually lose your breath? I'm like, that is crazy. And just from the short time she spent with me, that was like a big win for her. That was a big So I was like,
That's
wow,
that's progress. Like that's the biggest thing we need,
huge.
um is progress. People
Yes,
get very, very sad and hopeless and depressed when there's
yes,
no progress, because it feels like there's no hope that tomorrow could be better than today. So
right.
that's like the main thing we need for mental health and positive
Absolutely.
emotion is progress. That's
Yeah.
what we live for.
It's progress over perfection. People always want perfection. They're trying to make whatever they're doing perfect, not realizing where they started. You know, again, that same person 6 months past that gets to a point where they're like, oh, back to the I suck, I this, I'm the worst, I whatever. Uh, Look at me, Dom. I'm not going anywhere. I'm this, that. I'm like, no, do you remember you couldn't even make it up a flight of stairs without losing your breath? Let's look at the wins along the way. And that's what it is. It's just the progress, it's either, they say you're either getting stronger or you're getting weaker. You're either living or you're dying, and there's no staying the same. You're never staying the same. And that's the hardest part for people to wrap their mind around, is like, it's just, you know, keep plugging along, keep going, keep doing the little things, get back to what made you feel good, what made you feel great, what made you feel amazing. Get back to doing that. You do this, you already know you're not going to feel good. You do anything on that list, you know it's going to make you feel better. Dive back into that list.
Small daily incremental progress is virtually unstoppable. It's like
Totally unstoppable.
the momentum, the compounding. You just need that one little win. A lot of times we look at, there's so much that needs to be done to get anywhere near where we want to go. And it's like, well, what can you do right now? Can you take that one step? Can you do that one workout? Yes, do it.
Yes.
Okay, I've done it. There's progress. There's the good chemicals release that things
Yes.
are better in this moment than they were an hour ago. Now, what is the smallest incremental improvement I can make? Well, the room's a little messy. I could clean
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
Okay, clean up the room. Oh, look, there's a little bit more space. Okay, feeling a little better.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I ever got, was the small incremental progress is unstoppable.
It's everything.